Hello everybody and welcome to Somebody's Coming After You Right Now. You're dreaming. You have to wake up. You have to wake up right now. You're dreaming. He's going to come to you. He's coming up the stairs. He's opening the door. He's opening the door. A few weeks ago, I put up a poll to ask about the next Haunting Hour video, and it was a very fair poll. People were saying it's rigged. I don't get how this is rigged. It doesn't look rigged to me. But not only did Dreamcatcher win, Dreamcatcher is one of the most requested episodes to watch. So I decided to give it a shot. And you guys were hyping it up a lot for it to be one of the best episodes of the Haunting Hour. You guys are right. We start the episode by, of course, meeting the main character, Lisa, and she's going to summer camp for the first time. When she gets on the bus, she sits across from these girls named Amelia and Meg. Amelia seems excited for camp. She's ready to make a bunch of new friends, but Meg is not excited at all. She hates this camp, and she's only going because her parents have to work. I don't think Meg's parents actually have to go to work. I think they just need a break from their child because she's a lot. She's a huge narcissist and wants her and Amelia to ditch the other campers and be annoying, I guess. I don't know what her plan was. But Amelia had to deal with her last year, and she's a little tired of her shit. So she ditches Meg to talk to Lisa. And this is when they become best friends quite quickly. They get to the camp and all the girls get assigned to the same cabin. And now that they're in there, they get to choose bunk beds. So obviously Lisa and Amelia get the same bunk. Just kidding, Meg ruins that too. And she tries to talk shit about Amelia behind her back, but Lisa's not taking it.
Don't get fooled by her Little Miss Sunshine act. Amelia's a total jerk once you get to know her.
She seems pretty nice to me.
Next, they start making their dream catchers. Their counselor teaches them how to make a proper dream capture with the bead in the middle that they call a spider. Let me know if they actually call that a spider. I know it's like supposed to be a web to catch your dreams, but I never knew the bead was called a spider. They just called it the bead. Anyways, Lisa finishes her dream catcher and apparently it's perfect. Doesn't look too perfect to me. But Meg doesn't like that Lisa is getting praise for her dream catcher. So that night she cuts the bead that's in the middle of her dream catcher. And then she uses this to tell the story of the dream catcher. The story goes that 20 years ago, a camper died at this camp in her sleep. She had nightmares, more like night terrors. Every night she'd wake up screaming because she saw this boogeyman they called the dream catcher. The dream catcher would take away any good dream she had and leave her with only nightmares. And when she tried to tell people about them, they just never believed her. So one night the girl stopped sleeping and she started to go a little bit insane. She started to see the dream catcher everywhere, even when she wasn't sleeping. And one night she did accidentally go to sleep, and the next morning the counselors found her frozen in time with a look of terror on her face. Then their counselor comes in and somehow convinces Lisa that it's not a true story.
You don't believe in boogeymen, do you?
But after she asks her that, then she tells the campers, yeah, the story was true, but it happened such a long time ago before any of them were even born. Still not okay that somebody died at this camp and they're just kind of trying to keep it on the down low. I guess that's like the only rational thing to do, actually, rather than, close the camp down. But then she says something quite odd.
Plus, girls have your dream catchers, right?
And that night, Lisa has nightmares of this creature with long fingers stalking her, reaching out, trying to grab her. She can feel his presence but doesn't know where he's at, so she tries to go find her counselors to get help. And when she walks into the cabin to talk to them, we get this scene. Goth girls! Actually, terrified by this, Lisa runs out to be greeted by... And then she wakes up to Meg yapping in her ear and a weird scratch on her arm. Later that day, Amelia talks to Lisa about how her and Meg used to be friends, but she was super weird about it. She couldn't really do anything she wanted, and she would get very angry if Amelia talked to any of the other girls. And then she also talks about having a weird dream last night as well. In Amelia's dream, she was trapped in this cave that's on the campgrounds, and it felt like she was stuck against something, and she couldn't move. She was trying to get out when she felt something brush across her, and when she looked up, she saw this hideous monster with really long fingers, and he walked like a spider. That's when the girls realized that they've been dreaming of the same monster. When they go back to the cabin, the girls find that both of their dream catchers have been broken, and you wouldn't guess who broke them.
You cut them.
And when they tell the counselor just believes them immediately.
Meg, cut our dream catchers. Meg, kitchen duty for 3 days.
Later that night, Lisa and Amelia are too scared to go to sleep because they don't want to dream of this monster anymore. They're afraid the dream catcher might come back. So they decide to get into the same bed and stay up all night. And of course, it works. No dream catcher. But the rest of the girls wake up to Justine busting through the cabin saying,
all right, girls, big day planned today. 20-mile canoe trip.
20-mile canoe trip? 20 miles? That's like 15 hours. That's the longest canoe trip ever. But before they leave for their 20-mile canoe trip, Lisa decides to get a little payback on Meg and cuts her bead as well. Anyways, they somehow survive exhaustion and they gather around a campfire and start singing little campfire songs. RCAMPFIRESONG song. This is when the girls start singing the song There Was an Old Lady That Swallowed a Spider. And as they're singing this, all the girls get up and start surrounding Lisa. They get closer to her and closer and closer until... But luckily it was a dream, or was it? Because Lisa has spider webs coming out of her mouth. Lisa tries to explain everything to Amelia and Meg, but Meg really doesn't care and she doesn't want to be around them, so she decides she's gonna go to sleep in the mess hall, which is like a lunchroom for people that don't know what that is. Lisa and Amelia chug some soda and eat some chocolate and try to stay up all night. And they treat it like it's like drugs. Like they drink this soda and it's like the hardest thing for them to like take down. Gonna choke down this Coke. I'm gonna fuck it. I gotta stay up all night. I wish one Coke would keep me up all night, dude. I could drink 2 Red Bulls and still be tired. I'd still fall asleep 5 minutes later. Is that an issue? Is that a problem? Do I have a problem? But in the middle of the night, Lisa decides to go to the bathroom by herself. She might have went by herself, but she's not alone. She runs back to the cabin to find Amelia dead asleep, but the Dreamcatcher hovering over her, stealing her soul, I think? But after he sucks her soul out of her body, he does the scariest thing probably this whole season. Lisa then runs to the woods and starts hearing Amelia call for her, and she's calling for her from the cave. But before she can go into the cave, Meg wakes her up. Apparently she was screaming so loud that Meg could hear her all the way in the mess hall. But if that's the case, don't they sleep with like a bunch of other little girls? Did none of them hear her screaming, or are they just too nice to not wake her up? How did she scream so loud that Meg heard her but nobody else? But Lisa's not worried about her screaming right now. Lisa's more worried about Amelia that's stuck in the cave. She asks Meg to help her get Amelia out, but Meg doesn't care. She's not her friend anymore.
Not my friend. Not my problem.
So Lisa decides to go in alone. Just kidding, Meg does tag along. She does care about them after all. Just kidding, she doesn't. She ditches them almost immediately. And she does this to try to get back at them somehow. You just said, yeah, I'll help. See you later. What? That doesn't... What is that going to do to them? Lisa goes into the cave and finds Amelia stuck to this enormous spider web. But her walking around the spider web alerted somebody else. When they try to run, the webs are too sticky and they get stuck. But luckily, Meg is here to save the day. She helps them get out. They all hug and become best friends. Just kidding, she falls too. And as the Dreamcatcher is creeping towards them slowly, being all weird and creepy and with the scary eyes, I hate those fucking eyes, Lisa's alarm goes off and wakes up Amelia and Lisa, but not Meg. Meg is asleep in the mess hall. So she's stuck there with the Dreamcatcher alone and presumably dies. Another death that I am willing to accept in this Haunting Hour series, right behind Willie. And that's the end of the episode. This one felt a little shorter than the other ones, but it had a bigger impact on me. If this one was a 2-parter to like fully flesh out the scary Dreamcatcher, it would have been really cool to see. Some of these episodes did deserve 2-parters, and some of the 2-parters did not deserve 2-parters. But let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I do want to say that the suspense and jump scares in this episode alone, top tier. Like probably the best in the series. The Dreamcatcher design, he's creepy, he's super long-legged, has those long fingers, and walks weird, has a disgusting face, disgusting hair. I love him. He's my best friend. But I did notice a few things that kind of don't make sense. So the girls chug the sodas to stay up all night. Then literally the next scene, Lisa leaves to go to the bathroom and then the Dreamcatcher's there. So I guess she falls asleep. There's some things they could have like just, you know, like showed her get back in bed and fall asleep and it would have made sense. But in my brain, I was like, oh, she's just in the woods now, wide awake. And the Dreamcatcher is now real. And it happened a few times. And at the end of it, the girls could have easily just woken up and then ran and woke up Meg before she died. Lord knows if they would make it, but they could have tried. Oh, it would have been sick if the girls got up and ran and then Meg was dead. I guess I couldn't show a dead child on television. Never mind. That would have been cool though, if like she was just laying there dead in the mess hall and then it was like the girl 20 years ago. Full circle, bitch. Few plot holes here and there, but you know what? What story doesn't have a few plot holes, am I right? Thank you guys for recommending this episode. Really, really good episode. Let me know what episodes you want to see me talk about in the comments below. I will give you guys a little hint on the next episode I'm gonna talk about it. A little seasonal episode. I want to talk about a little seasonal episode. Thank you for watching the video. Like the video if you liked the video. I appreciate you all and peace.